Alright, kids. It's fucking story time. Alright. I gotta tell you guys a story about how I got the Civic. And also, side note, that is not eyeliner or nothing. That's no. That is a shiner from me being a dumbass, and I walked into a lift. Yeah. Had to get 3 stitches, and that was about a week ago. Yeah. So it's just starting to heal. And I got a nice black eye from it. I mean, it's just left over down here. But yeah, that wasn't fun. So the story about the Civic. Basically, y'all know about how I also fucked up and crashed the Optima after I had just had the roof wrapped, not even a week, 2 weeks prior to that, and also had just wrapped the fucking lip. So, crashed that, and I was out of a car for about, let's see, I crashed the car April 22nd, and I got the SI on April 25th. So I had a rental for about 3 days, and when I got the A-OK from my insurance company to go get another car, and that I had to clean out the Optima and get all my crap out of it and whatnot, I was in a rental at the time. Well, I figured since I was already down on Lancaster Avenue where my Optima was, I'd go over to Piazza Honda of Reading. And I figured I'd check out, if they had a 2019 Civic Si Coupe. Well, they did. They had a blue one, so I went in, checked it out, and the salesperson I met, he was a really cool dude, real chill, real laid back. Was trying to work with me on getting numbers and stuff, trying to work with me on getting into the car, possibly, and everything. He wasn't pushy or anything, which was great. Now, in the back of my mind, I remembered that we had a black 2015 SI Coupe at my job, Moyer Nissan. Well, after I got done talking to the salesperson at Piazza Honda, he goes and gets some manager, F&I guy, whatever, brings him out, introduces me to him, and I had explained to them my whole situation with the Dodge Dart and everything, and the situation with the Kia and the Gap insurance and all that crap. Well, the finance guy or manager of, I don't know what the fuck he was. All I know is that he was a very pushy, aggressive douchebag. So he's talking to me for a little bit, and I told him, well, I got to call my insurance, see how much my payments would go up a month after the crash and everything, and plus with this new car, blah, blah, blah. Fine, whatever. I specifically told him that I wanted a red one or a black one. The one that I was looking at was blue. Well, he tells me that, it would cost money to bring a black one or a red one in, find it, and, bring it to the dealership for me to buy, and I get that, I understand. I mean, I'm not a big fan of blue, especially on a car. I'm more of, obviously, red and black, and with the red and black interior of the SI, I was obviously more leaning towards a red or black exterior. So, just my personal preference. I mean, it's nitpicky, but it is what it is, and I wasn't too fond of the blue. Like, it was a nice color, but just not for me. Well, he goes, well, what would it take for you to take the car today. What could I do? Blah blah blah. I'm like, well, I still have the Dart. That's on my credit. That's technically mine, even though my girlfriend makes the payments on it. He goes, oh, well, maybe, if you buy the car today, you bring the Dart back and we'll have it signed over in your girlfriend's name. So at this point, I'm a little like, okay, where are you going with this? Like, fine. Well, then he tells me that, I told him that I'm still on the fence because he tells me that the payments are going to be $560 a month. I'm already paying $493 for the Kia, and that's already pushing it. So he tells me $560 a month, and I'm like, look, like I can't pay $50, $60 extra a month. Like that's going to be really tight, even though it's a car that I want. And so he gets snippy with me because he's getting kind of aggressive, and this is where things start to get hairy. He goes and says, well, what would you rather do? Pay the extra $60 to, for a car that you actually want, or you can leave here in the rental and keep wasting your money. And I was like, well, okay, all right, well, fine. I was on the fence about it, but now I just decided no. I didn't tell him that, and I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So then I come up with the excuse, oh, well, I gotta call my girlfriend, I gotta, see what she thinks about it, and this and that. And he goes, why? I go, well, we make our financial decisions together. That's what you do when you're living together and you're planning on making a future together. And he goes, well, if you want this car and she knows that, wouldn't you think that she would want you to buy it? And I'm thinking in my head, dude, just shut the fuck up. And then he follows up with that and also if you have to call her to make a decision like this now, how do you think it's going to be 10 years down the road? And I'm like, good advice, but fuck you. So I'm a little salty from that. And then he goes back into his office for some stupid shit, looks over my Gap contract, whatever. I talk to the sales guy, and I call my insurance. Insurance payments aren't really going to be that much higher. I think it was like $8 more a month, which was weird. But regardless, I was not buying that car. At that point, I had already made up my mind. I want to go buy the black one from my job because I know that they're actually decent people that aren't going to screw me over, which they did not in the end. So I'm thinking of a way that I can just get myself out of there because I had no intentions of buying the car at that point. So I didn't even call my girlfriend for that very reason. I called my insurance, got that all settled. And the F&I guy comes out and goes, oh, well, your Gap insurance won't cover the total loss, this and that, blah, 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 blah. I read it right here, and I'm like, no, that's bullshit. I'm covered up to like 35 grand. I owed 24 on it. You're full of shit, but okay. So him and I are arguing a little bit about it. I'm like, whatever. I let it go. And then he goes, oh, well, I can do you a favor, and I can get all this Gap insurance stuff handled here. It'll be a pain in the butt, but I can do it. I'm like, okay, you ain't doing me any favors. Sorry. Like, okay, great. Do you want like a fucking cookie or something for doing something for a customer? Like, that's what you should be doing anyways. But I mean, I know the Gap insurance is something that I have to handle, and that I have news about that as well, the Gap insurance, but that's a whole nother story. So, to wrap it up, he then comes over to me because I come up with some bullshit lie, say that I had to get out of there, but I did have to go to work anyways. And so I guess he sent the salesperson to go do something, to go grab some papers or whatever. And, I shake his hand, and he goes, basically gives me his life story almost, how he was burned in the past by an ex-wife, which I really don't give a flying fuck about, and he still proceeds to tell me this anyways. And he's like, oh, I just don't want to see this end up to you, what if she cheats on you, what if she leaves you, this and that. And I'm like, bro, like, that's my problem, not yours. I shouldn't make a decision on buying a car because of the what ifs. I should want to buy the car because I want to buy the car, and also because I trust the people I'm buying it from. And I clearly did not fucking trust him. So, moral of the story is, don't buy a car from a pushy and aggressive place. Now they get pushy and aggressive, that's normal for salespeople. But to bring in someone's personal life as to be the reason as to why they should buy the car, that's when it becomes a problem. So don't get pressured into buying a car because they try to use your personal life against you. And I ended up going to my job, went right to a salesperson, went right to my manager. I'm like, look, I want to buy that car. I want to buy it like now. And I explained to him the story of what happened at the other dealership. And they got me a really good deal, a really good one. And they definitely took care of me. So, you know, had I jumped the gun and would have bought the newer one, you know, brand spanking new, you know, and not the color that I wanted, but still brand new, if I would have jumped the gun and got that, then, you know, I would have missed out on lower payments, way lower payments, lower than the Kia at that. I got $100 less a month than the Kia. I think I'm paying like still a little high, but you know, $400 a month, which is definitely doable since I was able to do $493. So, moral of the story, don't get pressured into buying a car that you have a bad feeling in your gut about. So, and I will have more videos. I have a video about the gap insurance and that whole story, which was actually just figured out now. Like, I'm talking like today, I called the gap insurance company because of many misunderstandings and fuck-ups. And that, you know, 5 months later, here I am still dealing with the aftermath of the crash. There's that, and I have a couple other videos that I'm working on at the moment, and I'll have those out as soon as I can. But until then, y'all stay frosty, and I will see you guys next time.